We got some breaking NFL news here. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and Chip Kelly is the new OC for the Silver and Black. Make sure you guys click that like button. I'm telling you this right now. I could not be more fired up about this move by the Raiders. Kelly, I think, is a slam dunk hire as an OC. You can say what you want about Kelly in terms of him being a bad head coach, and he did have a bad experience in the NFL being a head coach. But I always say this, some guys are made to be head coaches, some guys are made to be coordinators. And I think Chip Kelly is an outstanding coordinator, whether you were looking at what he did at UCLA, Ohio State, Oregon, in the NFL in the past. Kelly's offenses have always been able to move the football. And then when you put that combination together with somebody that is just such a great leader like Pete Carroll, you combine that with somebody that's just such a great teacher, great coach on the defensive side of the football, and Patrick Graham, and I'm telling you this right now, if you would have told me Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, and Patrick Graham were going to be the Raiders coordinators, I might have been okay missing out on Ben Johnson. Seriously, y'all, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to quickly run through many reasons why I like Chip Kelly. I'm also going to tie in, for a lot of the OGs that watch the show a lot, Kelly was a name that I mentioned multiple times many months ago when Mike Vrabel's name thrown out there. So bottom line, I'm going to kind of go through all the news here around the Raiders, tell you why I like the move, and then also I am going live here on the Raiders Report at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to go live for probably about 30 minutes to 1 hour. For those that do not know, I just got back from my wedding tasting, and Alex and I, we had this wedding tasting planned out for months, maybe even over a year. The breaking news happened, and I'm not going to lie to y'all. Alex could tell that it kind of threw me through a little bit of a loop. And I want to spend more of tonight with her. I had a whole date night planned. I had a whole day planned with Alex, and the Raiders news kind of screwed it. I'm not going to lie to y'all. So, kind of changing up a few things on the fly here. I am going live, though, so make sure you pull up. Make sure you get those questions in, but I'm not going to be live for long because, again, I got plans with Alex. We're also going to have our drinking pants, and I got Chuck here as well because we already got our night started here, Alex and I. So, again, when you think about the hiring of Chip Kelly, the reason why that this was a name that was brought up to me before is because originally, we were hearing a lot about Mike Vrabel in terms of some head coaching circles. Then the New England Patriots, they end up firing Gerard Mayo, and then that head coaching job became available for Vrabel. I would say for people that started watching the show, I started throwing out the name Chip Kelly was a name that I started to hear probably back in, I'd say, early October, early November, and the whole idea was Kelly wanted to get back to the NFL. And the fact that Kelly interviewed last season for the Raiders OC job, fell behind Cliff Kingsbury, apparently fell behind Luke Getsy, but what it came down to in this cycling regime was it came down to Darrell Bevell and it came down to Chip Kelly were the top two people. Another name that got thrown out there earlier this week was, Bo Hardegree was somebody named earlier, but Gerard Johnson, the Texans quarterback coach. And I don't know who exactly was the Rooney Rule interview because, again, if you're going to hire an offensive coordinator, you got to at least interview two minority candidates. From my knowledge, the only people that I know, Gerard Johnson, Darrell Bevell, and then also Chip Kelly were the people that interviewed. There were some other names that were at least thrown out there into the mix. David Shaw was a name, and I don't know if that was something that they actually interviewed. If they did interview Shaw and if they did interview Johnson, then they're all good on the Rooney Rule. I mean, they have to be good on the Rooney Rule, right? Or else they wouldn't have interviewed somebody like Chip Kelly. But so Kelly comes in, was at Ohio State last season, was the OC there, quarterback coach, UCLA head coach from 2018 to 2023. San Francisco 49ers head coach in 2016, Eagles head coach from 2013 to 2015, Oregon head coach in 2009, 2012, Oregon OC from 2007 to 2008. So here's what I'm going to do, okay? I'm going to tell you all real quick who our sponsor is coming up after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to tell you many of the reasons why I love the hiring of Chip Kelly and ultimately why I think they went this route because for the people that watch the show often, there's going to be something that I say here in about a minute, maybe 90 seconds, and you're going to go, you know what? I remember that you said that. this hire makes a lot more sense. Before I get into that, though, huge shout out to our sponsor here, PrizePicks. Best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. The big game, it's almost here. And I don't want to hear I'm not going to watch the game because I don't want to watch Mahomes again. You can go after yourself, right? You're going to watch the game. It's the freaking big game after all. And whether you want to cheer for the Eagles, whether you want to cheer for the Chiefs, you better cheer for the flipping Eagles. But you still might as well put some money in your pocket. Mahomes has got 0.5 passing yards in the big game. He's going to throw for more than 0.5 passing yards in the game. You might as well take the more. You just got to pick one more player for a chance to win real cash. So you can also check out the promos tab to any or all the super sweet Millie winner big game lineups. If you tail a lineup to go 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. That sounds pretty good to me. So download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Sign up today and get $50 instantly. When you play $5, you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run yo game. All right, let's keep it moving here with Chip Kelly. And one of the things that I mentioned that I knew the Raiders were looking for, and this even goes back to last offseason, the Raiders were looking for an offensive coordinator that had head coaching experience. And I love this because when the Raiders brought in Antonio Pierce last season, they wanted to be able to find an OC that had some head coaching experience. That way AP could essentially be the head coach of the defensive side of the football. And then whoever that OC was, they could be the offensive head coach for the offensive side of the football. You bring in Kelly, and again, Kelly is, you can say what you want about him. He's going to come up with some fun, creative offenses, and he's going to try to push the ball down the field, which is exactly what I want the Raiders to do. So when you bring in somebody like Kelly that has some of that head coaching experience, I think it takes a lot of pressure off somebody like Pete Carroll. And the other part about hiring Carroll was you needed to be able to find somebody that can take over for him in the long haul. The best case scenario for the Raiders is Carroll comes in, we start winning a bunch of football games right away, and then let's say in 3 years from now when he turns 77 years old, you hand the keys to the car and you either give it to a Patrick Graham or Chip Kelly. Quite frankly, I don't know if there is a better name, 2 names, that I trust more to be able to take it over for Pete Carroll than Patrick Graham or Chip Kelly. And I say that because if we're winning games because of our defense and we just really have that solid foundation on that side of the football, PG deserves the job. If we're moving the football at an incredible rate, like you go back and you look at a lot of those Chip Kelly offenses, a lot of those Chip Kelly offenses are top 10 units in the league. Again, not a great head coach, but has been able to prove that he can be a good OC. If Kelly's able to learn underneath somebody like Pete Carroll, who he has all of the charisma, he has all the things that you look for in a head coach in terms of building blocks, chemistry, building the right regime inside of that organization. Chip Kelly's more of an X's and O's guy, and if you can combine those 2 worlds together, Chip Kelly could be a slam dunk head coach in the future. So when you compare Kelly's philosophy, Patrick Graham's philosophy on both sides of the football, you mesh that together with somebody that's just so locked in at being a great leader of men in Pete Carroll. To me, I don't know if the Raiders could have done a better job going out and getting Chip Kelly. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hop on out of here. I'm getting ready to go live on the Raiders Report. We're going to be going live here in about 30 minutes from now. So make sure those notifications are turned on. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you're not excited about the Chip Kelly hiring, then you need to wake up because this is a slam dunk hire by the Las Vegas Raiders. If you want even more news for more content, click the subscribe button right here. If you're looking for even more videos here around the silver and black, don't worry. I got you covered. Click this one up here. If you want even more videos from me, Chuck's going to be joining me here in a little bit, so stay tuned on that one. You can also click this button right up here for vids. Make sure you're subscribed or else you're going to miss a lot of stuff.